Alright, boys, let's talk about it. Hakoom. Everything that's going on about him. Apparently, his account was permanently banned at some point. It looks like he called PlayStation support around the 9th of September and things like that. And I've watched a lot of interviews. I'm just doing some Fallout 76 magazines. In the meantime, I've got like 5 trophies left to have this 100%, get the platinum, all that. So I'm just going to be working on that in the background. But it's just weird because like the whole situation is low-key weird. Oh shit, magazine, let's go. Yeah. So now he's been saying in the interviews that he's been showing PlayStation side as well as his side, which I think is fair. You know, you always need both sides to every story, and you know that's very fair. However, he's saying that the reason they're banning him, dude, I just got 3 magazines back to back. This luck is insane right now. He said that he was banned for platinuming games which require hundreds of hours in just a few hours. He's completed games in 0 minutes, which he says is like shovelware and things like that, so that's fair. You logged in over 2,000 accounts on PlayStation, like across multiple PlayStations, like PS3, Vita, you know, PS5, PS4, what have you, essentially. So like a lot of PlayStation logging in. And you've apparently logged into 29 different types of PlayStations is what it's saying. But, you know, 2,000 accounts amongst all of those PlayStations. That's a lot of fucking accounts, bro. Now, I don't believe that Sony... Because he said that, like, he was banned for auto pops. And I actually don't believe that Sony doesn't know about auto pops. I've seen the actual Sony Twitter. And they've straight up, like... you know, have announced a game. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I'm gonna try and find a Twitter post of it where they're like, "Oh yeah, you know, I think Toulouse remastered too, the second one, The Last of Us. I think that one was actually confirmed. Like, you know, if you transfer your save, you'll auto pop it. Dude, I'm getting so many magazines. Holy shit! And you know, you auto pop it, and you'll be able to play the DLC without having to worry about the main game trophies again. Well." So that makes me like aware that at least, you know, Sony has like some sort of knowledge around it. Maybe they're not the most knowledgeable, but I find it weird that they would ban for something like that because Sony's never cared about hack trophies, and he does mention that. He mentions that PSNP is the only one that really cares, and that's very accurate. Like, Sony doesn't give a shit. If you're not hacking like multiplayer lobbies and stuff, like for the most part, they'll leave you alone. I'm not saying to go and do that, you know, it's just for the most part they don't give a shit. Another magazine busting. So I just find it kind of weird that like they would ban because of auto pops and shovelware. You know what I mean? Like Sony has no problem having a fuckload of shovelware on their store. They said they'll like help remove it, but all they did was like keep it off the front page. So it's really bad. Yeah, regardless, it's really bad. I just don't see that you would be banned for that. And he does show screenshots of the other person's computer. The other person's, like, what they see from a PlayStation, like, computer or terminal, seeing that account information. I don't really think that's, like... Not to say that he has to prove it, because, you know, ideally... like he said before, it's good to have the story from both sides, and I completely agree. And I think he needs to show more, because he said that they emailed him, or they like let him know the reasons are, you know, platinum too many games within a few hours that are over 100 hours. You've completed games in 0 minutes. You've logged in over 2,000 accounts on your 29 different PlayStation devices. I think it would help to show that as well, because that's further proof, like, they're trying to ban him for something that doesn't make sense. And it's not to say like, oh, well, he's lying because this and that. But, you know, you're still missing a piece of the puzzle. And I think until we have more pieces of that puzzle, it's hard to say what's actually going on, because his account could very well have been, you know, leaked and tried to be sold for the username. I'm pretty well versed in the online space. There's a lot of MMOs I play, for example, where people will try to hack your account to get a username that is very unique and sell that username to someone that's after it. That does happen. Like, there's markets for this thing. So I do believe Hakoom in that, you know, that like maybe someone's hacking certain accounts for accounts that kind of have like a prestigious name where it's like unique. And not saying that's why his was, you know, taken, but they're examples, you know. I definitely have seen that happen, and I think that that's a valid like thing that does happen, and that's why accounts can get hacked. However, it's just like weird to not show anything. Like, he didn't show the reasons, he just said the reasons. So I think having that out in the space would help as well. What are other things? I mean, because ultimately, like, if you're saying it's corruption and, you know, people are like, this is a Sony employee leaking this information. So if it's a Sony employee leaking it, I feel like that kind of stuff, you know, just helps to the case further, because it's very hard to say definitively that, you know, either side is in the wrong, because we don't really have enough information on it. He does say like he cut the video off because he recorded like a phone call, but he didn't want to bore us with the details. But like, I think you do need to, bro. I think you do need to bore us with the details, because when it's an accusation against you, yo, that motherfucker dead. When it's an accusation towards you, it's kind of like you kind of do need all the info there. I know it's, you know, not all vital or important, but some of it could be, and it can make the difference of people getting like a full picture or full story of what's really going on. And I think that would be good for him to do. But anyways, that's pretty much it, really. What's your take on it? You know, like, the other thing is on PSNP, apparently he's been known to be a cheater amongst the community. He's had like to hide one of his plats or something. I don't really know the validity in that. I don't really think it has... in some ways, it necessarily doesn't have relevancy. Like, even if he did cheat some trophies, it's weird to like say that that has all this relevancy towards it, because like ultimately it's about the leak, you know, and getting information about that. Because exactly what he says, if your data is being taken and sold by employees, like, that's fucked, bro. You could have like a crazy PSN account and just be a target just because your shit is, you know, like, maybe you have a lot of games on it or you have a unique username. There's so many things. Quest completed, I guess. I was not doing a quest, bro. I'm trying to get my magazine trophy. Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't really get the whole thing with that, whether he's cheated or not. I don't think it's that. I think it's genuinely something with PlayStation. Like, they've seen that. I do think, because he was saying like it's not illegal to game share. Since when was it illegal? PlayStation encourages game sharing. I don't think that's necessarily true. It's in their TOS. Now, does that mean they're actively gonna like start banning you for like game sharing? I mean, I game share with my wife. We're in the same household. And he's right. Like he said, hardcore trophy hunters, you do log into a lot of accounts, especially to boost old online games. I've been trophy hunting since 2012. I would definitely say hardcore. You know, I've boosted a lot of old PS3 games, where I've had to buy like 3 or 4 consoles, log into them. I can't say I've ever logged into 2,000 accounts. Like, dude, the email management on that alone has to be absolutely fucking maddening. Like, how do you manage 2,000 emails? So I can't really say that I've done that. 2,000 is wild. Like, I feel like that alone might have rose a red flag to PlayStation. And then like, yo, why is he logging into like so many like accounts? Because one thing they really don't like is you selling games. So like, there's like websites, I think, I don't know how popular they are now, but they might have like Astrobot digitally, and you can buy it or like rent it essentially, where they give you the account details, you activate it as primary, download the game, play it, and you get it for like a week, right? It's like a rental. So you get it for like a week. That way you pay maybe whatever their price is instead of buying the whole game, especially Astrobot, you know, it's really quick to platinum. So I don't know if those are much of a thing now, but that could have been a thing that like maybe brought eyes to his account and then was like, oh dude, like he's also got this and that. I still don't think about the auto pop thing. I don't think auto pop and shovelware would have batted an eye, even if like the support agent was new, because like I said, it's been a feature for so long, bro. It's been a feature for ages. They've advertised it on Twitter, like I said, with The Last of Us Part 2, and that's just one example. I really don't think it's that. So I don't know. It would be cool to get your thoughts on it though. You guys can leave a comment below on what you're thinking. It's a weird situation. I only caught wind of it because a few people in chat mentioned it. And I know a lot about trophies. I know a lot, like a very unhealthily amount about trophies. And kind of how Sony handles certain things from my experience. And like I said, I do think PSMP would ban him if he was hacking and things like that, but obviously Sony wouldn't. And I don't think he would hack regardless if he got one game removed already on PSMP, because you could have 2 games removed. Once you have 2 games removed, the fuck is that guy doing? You good, brother? And you can only have 2 games removed. Once you have that, you're off the leaderboard for good, because like if you could just hide the games you cheated, eventually you could just hide all the ones you cheated and still climb the ranks, which wouldn't make sense. So it's put in place, you know, to make sure people aren't abusing that. But the fact that he's had to do it once does mean or indicate that he has cheated before. But again, it goes back down to, dude, the magazine fell on the floor. That's amazing. How have I not got 20 yet, brother? It goes back to like, I really don't think they cared, even if it was hacked trophies, to be honest. So Sony's never cared about that. I really don't think it's something to do with that. I think there's more to it that we're not getting, whether that be from Sony side or Hakoom. And it would be interesting to see, like, you know, the actual reasoning, like in an email, whatever the case may be. Like obviously he can censor details that might further put him at risk, since his name's already like all over the internet. But I really don't think like not showing that does justice, as well as like I said, the only other thing he has is a recording of it, of the call that took place, but it's in like 144p, and the audio is like worse than a walkie-talkie, bro. Like Mans was recording it and you can't hear shit. So he did mention that actually in the video as well. I was gonna end the video, but bringing that up real quick, he mentioned that like the dude called from the UK or something, and then he was like calling from Kentucky, and that's very common with scammers and shit too, where they'll use a spoofer to like hide where they're at, but it doesn't always indicate that it is a scammer. Usually the company won't call out to you, but they do things like that. Like for example, where I'm at, when I was working at one of these telecom companies, it essentially was the same thing. The phone, when I would call people, would say like I was from a different state, and I would even say like, no, I'm actually from this state, because some companies do have that in place. Now I don't know about from fucking UK to America. That's where it seems kind of dodge, but there is definitely like sort of spoofing essentially done in a company, and that's so they don't have people like ringing up that number. They have to go through the correct channels, because that's like essentially what the business is for. If you have people just all going through one like call or channel, of course it's gonna like be fucked. So I don't know what that was about in the phone call, and again, it's not good quality. It's really hard to tell what's what, but yeah, I just think we need more details. There's not much more about it. I think we need more details. There's not enough to really go off of from either side. I think both of it kind of leaves you in the air. wondering what's really going on. Regardless, yeah, your information's probably never safe, like especially in this digital age. So I think I covered most of what was kind of said. Not a whole lot, like I said, was really revealed. So I think ultimately, like, getting more information is the next step to figuring out like where it is. I know some people like don't necessarily like him or have like this vendetta against him, but I don't think that really should come into it. It's just a matter of like what's what. Like, just give us the details. End of the day, whether you like him or not, it has no relevancy. So yeah, that's literally it. I also just realized I don't think I quit out of the lobby last time. God damn it. I am the worst trophy hunter. Bruh.